All right, let's talk about this car accident.
First of all, that was delightful.
Thank you.
And it is interesting, timing wise, because my special came out, and then the other huge thing that I had in February of 2018, I got to open for Ricky Gervais at the Moore.
Oh, wow.
Which was a very kind of out of the blue sort of thing that I was kind of got to fill in the last minute. And it went really well. I got to chat with him backstage for about a half an hour, which was unbelievable. And definitely like one of the more celebrity kinds of like, oh, holy shit kind of moments where like I'm staring at him and then also like looking at his brain and being like, there's so much that's come out of there.
That's a big, like, that's a big moment.
Yeah, that was that was very much a feeling, a bit of a high watermark kind of feeling. So I had that going, and then my special out, like I was kind of riding a bit of a high. I'd also just gotten cast to be the spokesperson for Lakewood Ford down in kind of like the Tacoma area. I was going to be recording some spots for them. I already went and did one. And then February 23rd of 2018, I was working, which was a Friday. I was working down at Cairo Radio. Mm-hmm. And then my wife had just taken a sabbatical from her job, really because she had just been under too much stress and anxiety. And so this was like her first day, just not going to be at work for a while. She just started taking antidepressants, and then she called me and that morning as I was getting ready to leave for work, she burned her hand on a curling iron. Like she just like reached and grabbed for it and burned her hand. So around 2:00 or so, I said to her, I was like, look, I think I might be able to duck out a little bit early. Why don't I stop and get you some vitamin E oil so you can put it on your hand, just kind of help with the burn. And so that was 2:00 on a Friday. And then I woke up on Sunday in the hospital because on Friday, as I left my job, I went to go cross the street, a crosswalk in front of our building. My car was parked further down the road. And as I was crossing the street, a guy in a pickup truck coming from the north direction was going around 35 miles an hour and kind of went to go around someone else, I believe, and hit me in the knee while I was in the middle of the crosswalk. And then my head hit the windshield, and then I flew, I think I'm told like a good 30 feet or so. I talked to a person who was in my office because this happened really right in front of my building, and talked to him later. He's like, I heard tires screech and I looked down and I saw your body flying through the air. So,
do you not remember like,
so it's
all blacked out?
No, I don't remember any of it. I remember a little bit. And this is kind of why I brought up the Ricky Gervais thing, is that it kind of bled into that. It took a little bit of that memory as well. Like I know I could remember that better, or I did remember that better at a time. But I remember walking through the office or walking through my hallway and kind of getting partway through. And then it feels like just like the tape just stopped. And then it picks up again on Sunday. And now I'm waking. And the week after my accident was really spotty as well. That one feels very much like, I think Christopher Nolan does a really good job of doing memories in movies where it's just like kind of a flash and you kind of just get like a moment and there's like maybe a sound or something. So it's pretty spotty throughout all of that. But I woke up after in a very kind of confused state with a body that just was completely mangled. When I was hit and thrown, the guy who was driving did apparently have some EMS training and was able to kind of attend to me a little bit on the scene. Somebody else who I worked with had just started going for a bike ride and came over and attended to me. He didn't know it was me at first because he said I was so covered in blood. He just had no idea. I was convulsing. Ambulances showed up. I had collapsed lung as well. So they inflated my lung in the field. It's one of the only scars that I have. I have a scar on the side here from where they just inflated my lung. And then they brought me to the hospital. Somebody went and got my wife. People from the radio station just went and picked her up and kind of brought her in. try to keep her calm the whole time. Again, like I said, she had just started antidepressants, which I think was probably a massive boon because she managed to kind of stay fairly even keel throughout all of it.
It's like,
right?
Dude, a lot of people have told stories on here, and this is one where it's like, I haven't ever sat down with you. Like, I've heard you tell it on stage, but just the visuals of like just everything you're describing, and like how she must have, what that must have been like for her. And like, I mean, what was it when you came out of it? Do you remember anything of like, because that's like coming, I've had surgery, and so coming out of surgery, and you're like, it's
so groggy and so kind of all over the place.
Oh yeah.
One of the early things that I remember, was, so I get to the hospital, and I need to go in for emergency brain surgeries, because the main thing that they're worried about is I have a broken shoulder, I had a broken knee, and then I also had what was called an epidural hematoma, which is where you get a blood clot in between your brain and your skull. So then there's also there's that thing, that protective skin that goes around your brain called the dura. So this was like blood in between the dura and the skull, and that was what was compressing my brain. So they had to do an emergency surgery where they drilled a little plate little out of my skull and then pulled that out to kind of basically let off all of the pressure, and then put the plate back in. And I can feel it. I mean, I can tell you that it's about the size of a bottle cap, and that when they drilled it, they actually drill 3 holes, like kind of in a triangular pattern around the sides, because I can feel them all. And then that's where they removed it and put it back in. And the other thing that is frustrating was that when you get a lot of blood in your skull, it forces your brain to kind of compress. And the only place that it really has to go is kind of down your spinal column. So the back of my brain, which is where your occipital lobe is, which deals a lot with kind of your ocular stuff, was kind of smushed. So one of the things that was really alarming was that the left side of my face was slower. Like my eyes wouldn't quite blink all the way the right way. I couldn't really get my smile to kind of go all the way.
I think I have some of that too, man. My face is fucking weird. I like one side of it's a little slower than the other. I don't know. I thought
your whole face was a little bit slower.
Yeah,
the whole time.
Yeah. Sorry. This is just fucking crazy, man. I have a million questions, but
please jump in at any time, because I'm sorry. This is also like another side effect of the kind of traumatic brain injury is that it seems to have exacerbated some of the ADHD things that I've been dealing with my whole life, which can be me just kind of sometimes going off into a bit of a tangent or kind of losing focus and such. So
it's just being a comedian.
I know, that's exactly. At the same time, I was like, well, it just kind of feels like a more sort of nth version of myself. I mean, I was kind of always this way.
Yeah.
This is just now kind of a more intensified version.